Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're unpacking a frustrating cycle that, let's be honest, we all know way too well. Why do we start projects with this massive burst of excitement only to totally abandon them halfway through? You know the drill. They just end up joining that graveyard of half-read books, 60 open browser tabs, and yeah, unfinished IKEA furniture. To actually find the cure for this, we're going to walk through a really powerful fable that's basically going to flip how you think about productivity right on its head.
So, have you ever started something with just an insane amount of excitement, but then kind of just gave up halfway? That exact question absolutely tormented a guy named Marcus. See, Marcus was this incredibly talented 28-year-old carpenter, but his workshop, well, it was quite literally a graveyard of unfinished dreams. Chapter 1: The Unfinished Carpenter and His Cycle of Quitting. Marcus suffered from a totally paralyzing cycle. He'd kick things off with fierce determination, right? But then, within a matter of days, some shiny new design would catch his eye and distract him, trapping the poor guy in this really depressing pattern of three-legged chairs and tables without tops.
Chapter 2: The Cost of Quitting, or Losing the Big Chance. The true reality of this terrible habit hit Marcus like a ton of bricks when he finally landed the opportunity of a lifetime. The mayor's daughter was getting married, and she actually hired him to make a hand-carved wedding chest. He had 3 months to prove himself. The stakes were high.
So week 1 hits, and he is working with intense passion. It's going great. But by month 1, a really simple wooden jewelry box caught his eye. He figured, oh, just a quick side project, no big deal. Well, actually, huge deal. By month 2, his focus was completely scattered. And by month 3, the wedding day arrived, and that beautiful chest just sat completely abandoned in the corner of his shop. He lost the job, he lost the money, his reputation took a nosedive, and worst of all, he lost his self-respect.
Chapter 3: The Master's Secret and Learning to Finish. Completely broken and just tired of being the guy who almost did great things, Marcus finally went to visit Master Samuel. Samuel was this older carpenter who was legendary for his absolutely perfect craftsmanship. Marcus practically begged the guy to tell him his secret for finishing everything so flawlessly. Interestingly enough, Samuel didn't just stand there and give him some long, boring lecture. Nope. Instead, he simply picked up a block of wood and started carving. He said, "Inside this wood is a spoon. My job is to remove everything that is not the spoon." He basically explained that if you stop halfway, all you have is a worthless, damaged piece of wood. It is the slow, layer-by-layer completion that eventually turns it into something truly valuable. This is where Samuel introduced a concept that literally changes everything. He called it the messy middle. Think about it. Beginnings are super exciting, right? And endings are incredibly satisfying. But smack in between those 2 points is this horribly hard, boring phase where suddenly aggressively cleaning out your garage sounds way more fun than actually doing the work. This is the exact moment where doubt creeps in, new ideas look a whole lot shinier, and where most people just throw in the towel. So the absolutely crucial realization Samuel dropped on Marcus is simply this. Finishing is not about motivation. It's just not. Finishing is about commitment to the process. Look, motivation comes and goes like the tide. It's totally unreliable. Finishing actually requires showing up and committing to the work even when it is absolutely 100% no longer exciting. Let's hit Chapter 4, the 30-day challenge, and building the muscle. To cure Marcus of his quitting habit, Samuel threw him a lifeline. He told him to go back to his workshop, pick the absolute simplest unfinished project he had, and make a rock-solid promise to touch it every single day for 30 days, no matter what. Here's how that played out. On day 1, Marcus spent just 10 little minutes on a simple stool. Honestly, not a big deal. But by day 5, that familiar temptation to start a brand new mirror frame hit his brain hard. But he resisted, and he went over and touched the stool instead. By day 12, something kind of magical happened. His pride actually returned. And not that cheap pride of starting something new, but the deep pride of continuing. Finally, on day 23, the stool was completely finished. He hadn't just built a piece of furniture. The guy had built a completely new identity. 6 months later, the anniversary chest is completed. The results of this mental shift were just phenomenal. Having finally learned the actual skill of finishing, Marcus completely transformed his workshop. 6 months down the line, the mayor's daughter decided to give him a second chance, asking for an anniversary chest. And you know what? This time he finished it beautifully. Part 5, Rules of Finishing. Which brings us to your story. Because the really fascinating thing about this whole fable, it's actually about you and me. It proves once and for all that finishing is not some natural-born talent that you're either blessed with or you're not. Nope. It is a highly, highly learnable skill. If you want to become a finisher, you literally have to abandon the idea of motivation. I know, that sounds crazy, but motivation is fleeting. It's exciting, but man, is it wildly unreliable. Instead, you've got to embrace consistency. Yeah, consistency can be boring. And sure, it requires a steady, unglamorous effort, but it yields massive results. I'm telling you, consistency defeats motivation every single time. So to train your very own finishing muscle, you really only need to keep these 3 rules in mind. First up, the middle is always hard. Just expect it. It's not a sign that you should quit. It's actually a sign you're right on track. Second, finished beats perfect. A completed, totally simple project is worth 100 times more than 10 brilliant ideas that only ever live inside your head. And third, touch it daily. Seriously, that is the absolute secret sauce to building momentum. 30 days. That is your challenge. I want you to look around at your own abandoned goals right now and just pick one. Seriously, just one. Make it the absolute smallest one you have, and make a rock-solid promise to yourself right now to work on it for the next 30 days. And guess what? 10 minutes. That's it. You only need to touch it for 10 minutes a day. Set a timer on your phone if you have to. Why does this work? Because this tiny, seemingly insignificant, but absolutely unavoidable daily accountability takes your intention, turns it into action, and that action eventually turns your dreams into a reality. Plus, come on, 10 minutes is simply too small of a time commitment to say no to. So, I'll leave you with this. What is the one single project you are going to finish in the next 30 days? Today is the day you stop starting and finally start finishing. What forgotten dream are you going to bring back to life? Decide right now and go touch it today.